Hi everyone. So I want to talk about how information that comes through readings can show up later, making more sense obviously when you walk out the door than when you're sitting in front of me. And the reason for this really is simple. It comes down to time in the spirit world is not linear. So our angels and guides and loved ones who are looking out for us, guiding us, and bringing through information, they're giving us insight, a glimpse into the future, okay? Something that we at the time can't validate. It's only in time that it will come to pass. And so often when I do these readings, I will get information and I am certain it has happened. And my client is certain I am wrong. And I trust that they're right in that moment that it hasn't happened and they don't know what I'm talking about. But I tell them, refer back to the recording or your notes at a later date and you will be able to connect the dots. Now, why do spirits give us future insight and how can they predict our futures? Well, they give it to us because if it's part of our life's plan, meaning it's something we signed up to go through and learn lessons about in this lifetime, they're going to sometimes remind us of what that is, especially if we're struggling, to give us more rhyme and reason to the nature of why we're going through whatever it is. Sometimes they give it to us to give us hope. It's a light at the end of the tunnel to remind you that this is in the cards for you and it's going to unfold if you just surrender, go with the flow, and let it. And sometimes it's knowledge is power. They give you a heads up on something that if you continue down this road, you're likely going to see this outcome. And if you know this information now, you can get ahead of it and take your power back and co-create a different, more desirable outcome. Okay? So that is why they would share it with us. How do they know it's going to happen? They don't. And I always say, look, the information that's coming through in this moment is truth for now, right? But that can change because, again, of all the moving parts around us, your free will, other people's free will, things that are out of our control. It's not set in stone, but so often it is meaningful and it will come to pass if you let it. So I want to share a real brief story on this. I had a client in a small group reading. She came and she saw me, I guess, like 8 years before. And she said, back in that reading, my mom had just died. And right away you brought through my mom and you said, what does 1010 mean? And she said, I have no idea. And I said, your mom is talking about a baby. Do you have a baby? And she started crying, saying she miscarried just a few months before, and she was really trying but having a hard time. And I said, no, you're definitely going to have a little girl. You're going to name this girl after your mom. And I see 1010. And she said, I don't know. I have no idea. So I knew it meant something, but I also sensed maybe we were ahead of something. So I let it go. Well, fast forward 6 years later, on 1010, she gave birth to a baby girl. So that, and she named it after her mom. So that is a perfect example to illustrate that it was predestined. Her mom was trying to give her a breadcrumb, something to give her hope and faith. It was going to be okay, and that it was in God's timing this miracle would come to pass. Okay, so hopefully that kind of sheds some light for you on if you have been in a reading and you've received information that doesn't add up. Just give it time. Let go, let God, and trust in time you will be able to make sense of it. As always, wishing you brightest blessings and all love.